to 49ers rush. Niners all day. Let's bring 6 home, baby. Let's go.
I love it, man.
It's time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
All right, faithful. Things are not on the up and up. That was rough. That was a rough 3 quarters that just went terribly to dog manure, man. The 49ers lose, obviously, 28-21. But the way in which you lose, and we're going to get into positives, negatives. Yes, there are positives to take away from today, but there's a whole lot more negatives. And yeah, this game, it got bad quick. The 49ers came out and you handled your business. The 49ers have been one of the slowest starting teams in the entire NFL. Playing against the Seattle Seahawks, who are the fastest starting team in the NFL. And, we flipped that on the script, and it just got bad. It got real bad. Shout out to Brian Cintron. He says, I'm really encouraged by what I saw today from Trey. Not perfect, but we can work with this, right? And again, when Trey first came out, it was like, okay, here we go. Then we find out Jimmy's hurt. We'll talk about injuries in a little bit. Trey looked lost. He looked lost, but he started to settle down. His first 3 passes were just as bad as it gets. However, once he started putting something together, it started with his legs, the mobility, that's an escape route. And yeah, he was way too quick to run, but it's his first time in the game. And it's not just, guess what? Trey Lance isn't the only rookie that has looked poor when, getting his first shot. And all across, all the first round rookies have looked terrible. And now we're starting to see, Justin Fields had a good game today. Zach Wilson had a good game today. Those things are starting to come. You got to go through those. But, if you look at Trey Lance's numbers whenever it's all said and done, not bad. He goes 9 for 18, so right at 50%. That is pretty bad. 157 yards passing, that's fine. 8.7 per pass attempt, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He got sacked once for 1 yard. He had a quarterback rating of a 117.1. Way better than Jimmy Garoppolo's. Jimmy Garoppolo finished with 79.1. Now, again, you could say, well, that was all that one big play to Debo. That's fine. But it was a big play to Debo. That play, I think, was significant. Because when you watch the huge pass, everybody jumped on the underneath route. Basically what it was a will with a deep hook or a deep comeback, however you want to call that. And so it's a post option. So the outside wide receiver basically runs a post, and then it's mirrored, what you're seeing. I guess it's on this side here. So anyway, the outside receiver runs a post, and if he can't get deep, then you set it down right behind the linebacker. So both safeties and the corner all jump that. Meanwhile, the wheel route that goes behind it, Debo, they just left it. They thought Jimmy Garoppolo was still playing, I guess. Because, again, the reason why Jimmy G hasn't had much success this year is because they said, screw it, he's not throwing the deep ball. Let's crowd the middle of the field. Let's jump everything underneath. That was the interception, by the way, right? The interception that was thrown by Jimmy Garoppolo. Guess what? It wasn't a linebacker. Everybody's like, oh, there we go, throwing it to a linebacker. No. That was a safety coming in on a robber route, which basically means this. Safety, you line up deep, but your responsibility is hook to curl zone. So we're going to jump that right in front of the route. Again, that was a Jimmy G kind of, coverage, and it worked. But now, even you say whatever you want, blown coverage, don't care. He throws the ball deep. Adam, appreciate it. Adam is keeping me sane, messaging me during the game. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you for the gift. He says, it pisses me off seeing Jimmy G and Gold smiling on the sideline. Is Jimmy hurt or injured? If it was Dak or any other quarterback, they'd be pissed, fighting to get back on the field. And I think that's one of the things that we have to talk about. Whenever we talked about the transition, when we drafted Trey Lance, as soon as we traded up to number 3, we knew it was going to be a quarterback. Okay? Now, what do you do with Jimmy? I've been in the corner of, hey, let's allow it to organically work. Okay, and what I mean by that is, like, I'm fine. Like, I'm not a Jimmy, like, truther or stan. I'm not a Jimmy hater. I'm in between. I think he's an average quarterback. Again, my ranking before the season, I had him at number 14. Like, that's where he is. Maybe you 14 to 20 range. Where? I don't care. But I said this. The dude doesn't play football, and that's the information that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan gave us. Oh, well, we're very happy with Jimmy, but until he proves he can stay on the field, we had to go get somebody else. We can't have our season ruined because of one injury. Well, guess what? Jimmy made it 3 games before he got hurt. Calf strain, whatever. Whatever. You can't play with the calf strain. Like, that is a legitimate injury, but golly, man. And I think the contrast of who you're lining up against matters, right? You're lining up against Russell Wilson, and you don't want to use Russell Wilson as a measuring stick for anything because you'll be found wanting. That dude has played in 147 consecutive games. Jimmy Garoppolo has played in 3. That's it. And so having this constant turnover, and we said it would work itself out, right? We said that. The other podcasts you listen to or the media, whatever, it's a different story. But we said Jimmy's play is going to suffer, and that's going to throw Trey Lance in, or Jimmy's going to get hurt, and that's going to it's going to work itself out. It's worked itself out. And I'm with you, man. Like who are you? Your team's losing at home? You're on the sideline, and I know Jimmy's got that smile, and that's just kind of his go-to. Like, be who you are, but take it personally. You know what I mean? Like, I'll jump my players. Like, I have the same issue. If we lose a game, like, man, what are we doing? Like, you got people out there fighting. You're back here cutting up. Must not be that important to you. Yeah, I'm with you there, man. I'm with you there, and a lot of learning has to take place. This roster's a little far off, especially with all these injuries. Ray, thanks for the gift, man. He says, thoughts on the defense. Defense was out of its mind to start the game. And I want to tip my hat, man. D'Amico, incredible job. I was so critical of what he brought last game against, the Packers. I really put that loss on him personally. But you look at our defense. Listen to this. First drive, defense, 3-and-out punt. Second drive, 3-and-out punt. D Ford sack. That was incredible. Third drive, 3-and-out punt. Nick Bosa sack. And not only was that sack important, the third one, it was right after Jimmy Garoppolo's interception. That sack pushed them out of field goal range. We gave up 0 points again on a turnover that happened in our plus side of the 50. That doesn't happen, but this team has done it every single game. They're bailing them out. Fourth drive, 3-and-out punt. Maurice Hurst, baby, got in there, tackle for loss. Next play, Kinlaw, D Ford, and a pressure by Nick Bosa to force the sack on third down. That was huge. And then fifth drive, 3-and-out punt. Awesome coverage. Emmanuel Mosley goes out there and freaking basically locks down DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf's touchdown, by the way, guess who was guarding him? Our linebacker. He was guarded by Aziz. Why is our linebacker guarding Aziz? Why is Aziz our linebacker guarding DK Metcalf? Yeah, he had a safety over the top, but no. That's whatever, but that's okay. Fifth drive, again, like I said, 3-and-out punt. Sixth drive, punt, another Mosley versus DK. Like, those 6 drives, that's incredible. And what happens is, we didn't score points. We weren't really building anything offensively. And eventually your defense gets worn down. You can only do that so often to a team like Russell Wilson. Eventually it's going to catch on. And I think the issue is the turnovers, right? We had 2 turnovers. They had 0. How many times is Russell Wilson going to lose a game where they're +2 in the turnover margin? I'd be willing to bet he's probably like 103. I know he just won like 100 games, so that's probably not correct, but it's probably like 60-2. You can't be -2 in the turnover margin against that good of a quarterback. You can't do it. And then penalties, man, those equate at least a turnover. Because that one drive where we gave up the touchdown, this was the 9th drive, ended in a touchdown run that ran straight over Kentavious Street. By the way, when Kentavious Street's in the game, 95, just know every single team is going to run directly at him and have immediate success. That was the touchdown run and 3 runs before it on that drive, all right at Contavious Street. But 95's in the game. Trust me, the ball's going right at that B gap, wherever he is. I mean, we're 3 weeks in a row right now. And actually 4 weeks, because Detroit, their success right up the middle, that was right at Contavious Street. So, but before that, we actually got a stop on 3rd down, but D Ford lined up off sides, which he does repeatedly and has not corrected his behavior. Then after that, we get that stupid pass interference call against Drake Kirkpatrick on 3rd down. We had 2 3rd down stops on that drive, and then they got the touchdown. Go back to, what's the score of this game? We lost by 7 points. That was their last scoring drive, where it just felt like it was overwhelming. The defense did everything in the right mind to win this game. The offense definitely did not step up. Bobo, he says, we are not as good as we think we are. What now, John? I think you're right. And, you know, you watch this first quarter and you think, golly, this team's pretty damn good. We're a way better team than Seattle. And I still attest to that top-down roster-wise. I agree completely we're better than they are. However, when you're lacking at the most important position, it's going to catch up to you. And again, whenever your head coach doesn't trust anybody but one running back, Trey Sermon, who had a good game, by the way, that's a positive to take away. Trey Sermon, 19 carries, 89 yards, 4.7 yards per rush attempt. That's great. No negatives. Didn't run backwards this week. I should have said that. But like that's a positive. But the problem was we put in great value Derrick Henry that runs in slow motion. Like, they knew that wasn't going to work. And I'll say this, Jaquez Patrick, he had 2 carries for 12 yards, but that dude was in slow motion. We had to get him in there because Trey Sermon was on the sideline. He had a stinger. So whenever we only have one running back, who, by the way, is our 6th option this year, right? We don't have our top 5 rushing things. It limited what Kyle Shanahan does best. And so we have seen, again, this is a criticism. Kyle Shanahan, whenever you handicap his running game with personnel issues, injuries, it's not the great Kyle Shanahan we came to know and love. I think that should be a criticism, because you can't say you should have built more depth on the running back position. You can't say that. You've had 6 injuries to running back position. So, not one NFL team in the world can say. You can look at, who is it? The Baltimore Ravens. They had all those injuries, right? They had to pick people up off the street, but they have a mobile quarterback. What happened the very first play Trey Lance stepped into the game? Trey Sermon had his best run of the day. Is that coincidence? Hell no, it's not. It changes the dynamic of the game. Now it's 11 on 11. We talked about this all offseason. So, is our team Super Bowl caliber? No, I don't think that was, a thing. I said 12-5 is what I wanted before the season started. I think I might have been off. I think 11-6, 10, maybe in 7, probably a little bit more realistic now. But this is by no means bury your head in the sand. We're 2-2. We're 2-2. And we got a freaking young quarterback stepping in, and we got a bye week coming. I think that's important. From Ryden 06, he says, first super chat, love the show, John, hype for Trey area. There are things to be happy about. All the Jimmy haters, come out of your nests. It is now time to fully embrace what is Trey Lance, and you got to go through the growing pains. And I don't want to hear that crap about him sucking and all that. That's idiotic. The kid's 21 years old, the youngest quarterback in the NFL. He's going to have a lot of learning curves, a lot. Best thing that could happen to him, a healthy running game, getting Elijah Mitchell back, things like that. Luke, appreciate you, Luke, as always. He's just an amazing guy, content provider, Luke Luna. Check him out if you haven't already. Love this team. It's time to hold on faithfully. And that's the thing, man. I know social media kind of portrays fan bases in a negative light. And we're the faithful, baby. We're the faithful. Yeah, we lost to the Seahawks. Guess what? They've beaten us now 15 out of 17 times. I get it. Guess where the Seahawks are? They're 2-2. We get to play them again. So if all else bears even, if we beat the Seahawks, we finish ahead of them. Now, do I think that we're going to beat the Seahawks in Seattle? I think we can. I think we have. Is it likely? Maybe a little bit less. But yeah, man, come on. This is the time. Anybody could be like I teach, right? So like I've been around high school juniors and seniors for 15 plus years of my life now. And everybody is the new fan of whoever just won the Super Bowl. There's freaking Bucks fans in Los Angeles. That shit makes no sense, and it's never happened before. But they're there now. Guess what? They'll be a fan of somebody else. Like, those things happen. But that's not who we are. All right? That's not who we are. So, yeah, you can be pissed off. You can be all those things. But you stick with your team, man. That's just what it is. Todd, he says, Trey is the real deal. Early on was cringeworthy. There is no doubt about that. But as things went on, he started to slow down. He started to cool down. Things started looking good. I felt really good about it. Again, you look at just his stats from a statistical thing. The dude rushed for 41 yards. He had a 13-yard rush, 7 carries for 41 yards, averaged almost 6 yards per carry. That's great. And didn't turn the ball over. That's huge. Even though he got sacked, guess what? We lost 1 yard. Eliminating those negative plays. So the negative plays for Trey Lance, they're going to be bad passes. But go back to what he did in college. How many of his bad passes were intercepted? None. He threw 1 that last year, but he made it through the entire year without throwing any. Like, interceptions aren't really his thing. Will he throw interceptions? Yes. Will it be like Jimmy? God, no. No, he makes better decisions. He just got to work on accuracy, footwork, mechanics, calming down, those things like that. From Jay Aguayo, he says, do you think Jimmy G is physically cleared? Is Trey starting next week or back to Jimmy? Now, what would I do? I'd start Trey Lance moving forward. Like, rip the Band-Aid off. We've got a bye week coming up. Yeah, you got Arizona, who just fleeced the Rams, which everybody was ready to crown Super Bowl champions. Like, that's not how the NFL works. You don't get to play the, we beat them, but they beat these guys. Like, therefore, if so facto. No, that's not how it works. Rams got stomped at home against a division opponent. They got beat way worse than we did. And I'm sorry, I think the Cardinals are a good team. There's some deficiencies there, and they're rolling right now. Kyler Murray's playing off the charts, all those things. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. I'm not ready to crown the Arizona Cardinals the NFC Championship just yet. And I'm sorry, I don't. I'm not a believer in the coaching staff, and again, there's some issues there. But screw them. I don't care. Teams lose games. We're 2-2. The goal of every single quarter, and I put this out, I think a week ago, right? The first quarter is 5 games for the 49ers, and then the rest of the quarters are 4 games because now we have 17 games in a season. Your goal is get to 3 wins every quarter. Now, what is that going to take? It's going to take us beating Arizona at Arizona. Can we do that? You bet your rear end we can. It's a divisional game. Cardinals have always played us well. Not saying that. But if I had to guess, back to your question, Jay, if Jimmy's cleared, Kyle's going to put him back in. I don't think that Trey did enough. And again, I'm speaking for Kyle Shanahan, not what I would do. I would prefer to stay with Trey. But again, you put into perspective the Kyle Shanahan loyalty, whatever. I think that's what that's going to look like. Tobin, thanks for the gift, man. Yeah, he said he thinks he goes back to Jimmy again, but you sure hope not. Don't be surprised, man. Kyle Shanahan, the loyalty program, it is strong to quite strong. Even though he wanted Trey, he asked them to trade up to go get Trey. We saw some of the things that were, maybe he's not ready. But the good news is he's gotten some reps under his belt. The thing that we can't do is just put the cat back in the bag, right? Like, you can't just say, all right, Jimmy's starting now. Trey, you're back to scout team. No, he's proven he can move the ball, even albeit versus a prevent defense, whatever. I don't care. Say whatever you want. Like, he's got to play. You got to keep him there. Brandon, thank you for the gift, man. He says, appreciate making us feel better after a loss, John. I think it's got to be Trey from now on. I'm with you. What do you think we're going to do at running back? I think that the answers are on the team. Okay. So we've had back-to-back, doubtful weeks from Elijah Mitchell, who's going to be our starter. Trey Sermon answered a lot of questions today, and that's a positive. So, if you have Elijah Mitchell and Trey Mitchell with Trey Lance, all right. Now we don't have to hold back as much. Also, JaMychal Hasty, I think he'll be coming back right after the bye week. Guess who else is coming back? Jeff Wilson Jr. is due to come back after the bye week as well. He's available. He's a PUP candidate. Those are your 4 backs, no issues. Yeah, you're fine with that. I think a couple things that we've learned, Kyle Shanahan is not comfortable whatsoever with Trenton Cannon. And gosh, man, that was a terrible 2 returns in a row. They put Debo they put Debo back there to return kicks, which I just think is just adorable. I don't know how else to say that. Real quick word from our sponsor. All right. Tom Brady returns to New England for one of the biggest games of the year. Add in Richard Sherman signing with the Bucs. It's huge. Okay, so now whether you're rooting for the Bucs or the Pats, it doesn't matter. Here's why it is exciting to bet with my bookie. Get in on this action, a whole new level. Use promo code 49ers. Here's the deal. Listen to this. 49ERS. They're going to double your initial deposit like always. But if you use that this week, they're going to give you an additional $20 in free play at the casino on top of the double deposit bonus that they give you anyway. This exclusive deal isn't going to last long, so don't miss out. Go to mybookie.ag and start your winning season today. Remember to use promo code 49ERS. And again, bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. All right, we had a bad run this week. This was the worst week betting we've had probably in 4 years since we started doing this. Still up positive on the year for sure, but yeah, that hurt. That hurt. I want to say shout out to Jared. He messaged me on Twitter and he said, RIP to your inbox. Therapist Chapman, hang in there. We'll be all right, though. Thank you, Jared. And hey, come on, man. Like, I understand what my role is, and this is kind of who I am as a high school teacher. I'm a good high school teacher. However, I'm much more of a therapist, social worker for high school kids that are going through some stuff, which all high school kids go through stuff. So reach out to me, man. You want to say something and you want to hey, how you feel? Come on, let's go. Email me, 49ersrushpodcast@gmail.com. I'll try to get to all of them, or you can message me on Twitter at JL_Chapman. Obviously, I spend most time on Twitter or Patreon. If you want in-depth and conversations, things like that, trust me, Patreon's the way to go. Patreon.com, 49ers Rush Podcast. And again, we'll be breaking down the entire all 22 coaches film on this game, which is going to hurt. But you got to do it. The film is never as bad as you think it is. It's not. It's not. And this game's going to be just like that. There's a lot of positives to take away from this. I mean, shoot, just look at Debo. I mean, I wore this bad boy today. Debo, the chain snatcher. And look what he just continues to go out there and do. 8 catches, 156 yards, averaged 20 yards per catch, 2 touchdowns on 12 targets. Debo is different. And that dude, it's incredible what he has become. The dude is leading the NFL in so many different categories. Yards, he's definitely leading the NFL in yards now, receiving. Touchdowns, he's all over the place. He's on pace. The 49ers haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher. Good Lord. I'm going to jinx myself here. In a very, very long time. Let's see where Debo is currently at. Just through these 4 games, where's it at? Here we go. He's got 334 yards receiving. That through all the games? That's stupid. No, he's got more than that. You have to add in today's yards. He's killing it. So he's at now, man, he's well over, pretty close to 500 yards. That's where Debo's at. Through 4 games. He's still got a lot of football left. And the fact that he's putting up those numbers with Jimmy G and Trey Lance, he's quarterback proof. And I think that's important. From Thomas, he says this: did you see the reaction Debo had when he scored that touchdown and celebrated with Trey? I can see the chemistry building. How do you not love a guy that leaves everything on the field? How do you not love the guy that's leading the NFL in receiving yards say, put me back there, let me return this damn ball? Football reveals character. And I preach this a lot to my team. We're working to build men, right? At coaching high school. But look, if you're a quitter, football's going to show you and everybody around you you're a quitter. That's what it does. It's not oh, this is going to make me a better person by playing football. No. What you bring to the table is going to be exposed. And so if you're one of those people, when the crap hits the fan, you just turn and run and you say peace out to your family and your teammates, that's going to be exposed. And it happens on a daily basis at the high school level. Debo, what happens? Okay? Stuff sucks, whatever. I want more. Oh, Debo, you're leading the NFL in receiving yards. I don't care. Put me back there. I'll return punts. Debo, like, okay, fine, we'll put you back there. Hey, let me be running back. No, Debo, like, that's what it is. George Kittle, I don't care. You put me out there. Like, my leg broke in half because Jimmy can't throw the ball low over the middle. I'm fine. Literally broke his leg in half. It's a flesh wound. Like, channeling, like, the inner, Monty Python. It is but a scratch. Doesn't care. Unfortunately, we do have some, and I don't want to call out names here. It gets rough. Bye-bye. What's this, 3 years now? 3 out of 4 years? Take that for what you want. Adam, Trey isn't going to be ready if he doesn't get reps. I'm with you, man. That is the only way he starts to figure out details of clock and recognizing the situation. Yeah, tempo was an issue. Getting plays in was an issue. Jet motions was an issue. That just takes time. Doesn't help the fact that Alex Mack had, I think, 2 or 3 bad snaps when Trey Lance was in there. Like, his snaps have not been consistent. Mack left a couple snaps because he was injured, came back in. Yeah, there's some stuff there. Tobin, oh man, he says if Trent Williams is it, then we're toast. I think that we're going to be okay. Like, every team is greater than their best player, which Trent Williams is. Definitely in the conversation. Him, Nick Bosa, Kittle, Warner, Debo. I think you've got those 5 freaks. If I left anybody out, please message me why I'm terrible. That's okay. Injuries suck. That Robbie Gould injury, that cost us at least 4 points because we missed that field goal. That was huge. He hurt his groin in warm-up. What the hell are you talking about? Why do we always have kicker issues versus the damn Seattle Seahawks? It drives me nuts. Like, we have like 5 kickers that have sucked against Seattle, and Robbie Gould just gets hurt. We put Mitch Wisnowski out there, who played really, really well and did the best that he could, but like, he's a damn punter. Man, that makes me mad. That hurt too. There's so many little bitty things that if they just bounce a different way. Here's the thing. I talking with my old coaching buddies back in Texas, and like, everybody's sitting around in a room, and you like share like, oh, I remember when I was playing and we were on this playoff run, or I was coaching this team and we won the state championship, and you're sharing all these stories, and everybody like eventually came to the conclusion. And this was like 12 to 13 coaches sitting around a table late one night after practice and going through film. And everybody was just like, you know what, man? You have to be lucky. Being good's not enough. The ball has to bounce your way. You've just got to have things go your way. And if you look at this game, like, guess what? We bobbled a kickoff. They bobbled a punt. The difference was their bobble bounced right back to them. We also forced a fumble on defense. Guess what? Ball bounced right back to them. Didn't work that way for us. Sometimes the ball bounces our way. Sometimes it doesn't. You can't control it, but sometimes things have to go your way. What if you just flip those two things? What if the bobbled punt that they had like on the 5-yard line, we recovered it? We lost by 7, right? I don't like playing the what if game, but what I want to do is put into context. Man, sometimes stuff doesn't go your way. And injuries, unfortunately, what is this, year 6 of just insane injuries? Robbie Gould before the game. George Kittle on the high pass from Jimmy, which was so unnecessary and just terrible. He keeps doing that to him. How he still played is insane. Alex Mack, he left right before the half, came back in. Jimmy G, calf injury. Good Lord, everybody take a drink on that one. Javon Kinlaw, he had a cramp after chasing down Russell Wilson. Trent Williams got carted off the game twice. When the hell has that happened? First was for cramps, which I thought was crazy. But you get him in, get an IV. He comes back out. He's a hell of a player. Then the elbow late. So we'll have to wait and see what that is. We need to keep him. The good news is we got a bye week coming up, and damn, we need it because we could use some stuff. Trey Sermon got a stinger late. That's a lot of damn injuries for one game. But the 49ers are used to this, unfortunately. This is who we are. It's not just us. Every single team deals with injuries. We, unfortunately, our injuries always stack up at the same position. Corners, running backs, like that's just what it is. And so you take it, you can't control it, you move on. We fired 2 strength and conditioning staffs already. Do you fire another one? I don't know. I'm nobody you need to know. Do you wish you kept your 49ers score first bet? You know I do, dang it, especially on a bad week. I've bet the 49ers to score first for 2.5 years straight now. This was the first time I didn't bet it. And sure enough, they go out there and just freaking mollywop. Defense forces 3 and out. They drive down the field, score 7-0. It's a better world. The sun is shining, and unfortunately, we're not in that reality. We took the red pill instead of the blue one, so I appreciate that. I also love the fact that you tipped me just to say, ha, 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 you lost money. That is the type of pettiness that we expect here at the 49ers Rush podcast, baby. Bring all the saltiness. I need it all. Dr. Blocktopus, thank you, sir. Debo tried to carry our whole offense. What a man. Sad day to be a 49ers fan, though. Hate losing to the Seahawks. And that, I'm friends with people that are fans of other teams. Eagles, Bears, Dolphins, like a lot of different fan bases. And it's crazy. People that it doesn't affect them. Like, we lost. It's not a big deal. Like, no. Like, I don't feel that way. It is a big deal. And like you take it, like, you know what I mean? Like you take your medicine. That's what it is. I don't like medicine. I don't like Dimetap and all that stuff. It's gross, but it's like, like you should be pissed. But that doesn't mean like the one thing, like, all right, where am I going with this? I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole. Pay attention to what you allow in and how that affects you being a fan. If everything turns to toxic, fire this person, we need to get rid of this person's trash, we shouldn't have done this was stupid, like, you don't need that, okay? And that's going to be out there, and I'd probably say that's going to be the majority of stuff, and it's going to get way more likes, it's going to get way more comments, it's going to get all those things. How does that help you enjoy being a fan, and how does that help the 49ers fan base? I don't know how that works. I don't see where that goes. So understand this: you take your freaking lumps, baby, and you take them like a champ. You don't think my kids at my school that I coach, that I teach, know I'm a Niners guy living in Los Angeles? You don't think they're going to bring that? Bring it, baby. Bring it. Oh, I want all the smoke all the time. Like, I want to be that. So accept it. Take it with class. That's cool. But this isn't where the 49er season ends. This isn't it. We still got a lot of football left. And I love that. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. We ended that game with 3 rookies. We've been talking about how bad this rookie draft class is and all the misses. Well, guess what, guys? We ended that drive with Trey Lance at quarterback, our first-round pick. With Trey Sermon at running back being the number 1 bell cow running back, our third-round pick we traded up for. With Jaylon Moore, one of our fifth-round picks, out there at left tackle. We're going to figure out what we got. There's a lot to look forward to here. And there's a lot to evaluate moving forward. So people want to be on that, oh, man, 49ers suck, and I hate this team. Man, get the hell out. Go root for the Rams, because I guarantee you when 37-year-old Matt Stafford retires here in 2 years, yeah, we don't want your ass back here. Like, we want people that are here. Faithful then, faithful now. That's what that means. So, yeah, be pissed. I'm pissed. Look at me. My face is red. I know you are saying, Chapman, your face is always red. That is true. That is true. David, he says, can we start having the defense take some responsibility for these losses? I put the loss against the Packers on the defense completely. I don't put it on here, but I do. This is a solid critique, David. Well said. They have 1 turnover in 4 games, and we are averaging 28 points a game on offense. That is correct. And again, you got to put context into all these things. I love that you put like evidence. It's easy to say the defense sucks. It's easy to say the offense sucks. But whenever you put stuff like this in there, David, educated fan base, I freaking love you guys. You're incredible. Yeah, you're right. 1 turnover in 4 games, not good defense. You go back to 2019 and what we were doing, it was sacks and turnovers. We're getting the sacks. We had 3 sacks in the first half. That's great. No turnovers. And a lot of that is because of the technique we are playing with our corners. Okay, 2019, we played shuffle technique or a press where we would turn and open up to the quarterback and we would make plays on the ball. That's not what we're doing now. And again, I'm not putting this loss at all on the defense. I am not. Last week, I agree, yes. But when we turn our backs to the quarterback on 3rd and long and we're blitzing, you're not going to get an interception if you're turning your back to the quarterback. And that's what we keep doing on 3rd down. and it's not working. We did get a couple great plays from Emmanuel Mosley. That dude balled out, man. That dude balled out. Emmanuel Mosley, whew, that dude should have got paid more. We did not pay him what he deserved. Tobin, does Kittle have a bad attitude with Trey? I don't think so. I think it's frustrating when you're trying to will your way to get your team to have success. And unfortunately, you can't control that with somebody like George Kittle. But if you watch that Debo touchdown? I think it was. George Kittle was screaming and hollering as he pancaked his dude in the end zone. And so, yeah, George Kittle and Jimmy Garoppolo are like best friends. They talk about each other all the time and the chin and all that stuff. But trust me, winning cures all. And once Trey figures this out, the sky's the limit. We just got to figure out how to get him to figure it out. From Philip D., one of my favorite people out there, man. I want to say thank you, my friend. He said, I've been saying Lance needs to learn how to manage a drive. Otherwise, he'll just be a gadget quarterback. Yeah, I think you're right. And Kyle Shanahan's been very honest. They run the same playbook, but there's some plays that are tailored specifically for Trey Lance. He's got time to expand that now. This is the time to put it in there. And so, yeah. And if you go back and watch, him at North Dakota, again, if you join our Patreon, here's what I recommend, okay? I think we have like 275 Patreon members currently, which is incredible. Thank you all for the support. It's why we get to do this awesome podcast and all this, whatever equipment. I have 5 games, or no, not 5, like, I think it's, just over 5 games completely broken down of Trey Lance. In college, complete breakdowns. We're talking hour plus through there. Go watch those. All you got to do is go onto Patreon, sign up, and in that box at the very top right, just type in Trey Lance. Boom. It's going to pull up hours and hours and hours of film of Trey Lance. Go watch it. He's not a gadget guy. He's not a gadget guy. He was not a gadget guy. Now, is he athletic and mobile? Can he do those things? And was he too quick to jump off his reads and bail? Yes. But it's his first time to play, really, and run an offense, and you're down 15 points in the fourth quarter. What do you expect him to do? C1, thank you for the gift, man. Really appreciate that. He says, why can't Shanahan coach past the first half? Man, it's one or the other. He's like freaking Two-Face, where you got to pick a side. He's either awesome in the first quarter and third quarter, or he's awful there, and then he's good in the second and fourth quarter. Figure it out. Consistency. Robert Saleh would always say, one of his quotes, every coach has their quotes. Robert Saleh's was, consistency is the greatest measure of success. Everybody can show flashes. It's consistency that is key. And Shanahan hasn't shown that. I'm still a Shanahan, diehard fan, and I'm so glad he is our coach. I'm not even close to let's get rid of that guy. But that doesn't mean I can't critique his play. That's my job, right? As a podcast, that's what this is. There's a lot to critique there. But the flashes are there. Can he get close and consistent, right? Can that happen? But no, I love Shanahan, but he bears a lot of blame here. And I'm with you, C1. I think you nailed it there. From Hools 1, I think I pronounced that right. I think we're more of a playoff team with Lance than we are with Jimmy. I think we're a playoff team. I think this defense is good enough to be there. I think our offensive line in the running game is good enough to be there. There's a lot of bad teams in the NFL. Unfortunately, none of them are in our division. I'm not sure where we shake up and fit on that, but trust me, we're going to get some wins in our division. I know we didn't see that today, but yeah, I think I would not be shocked at all if the 49ers make the playoffs. This is a low point. That's not the way the season ends. Look at the freaking Chiefs, right? 1-2. You can look all the way down the line. It's a roller coaster, man. You got to stay with it. We still got a lot of football left. We played 4 games. We're 2-2. We're at 500. There's going to be a team. 7 teams get into the playoffs now. It's a new year. It's new rules. Now, got some more to get to that I want to talk about. Shout out to Sin. I see you there. And I do think Trey did a good job. All in all, you look at it in context, you can pull some of those plays and you're going to scratch your head and say he was terrible. But when you look at the big picture, there's definitely some stuff to build on. Now, if you need some help with jerseys and stuff, oh, here you go. Guys, I am here to tell you today, if you need some sports memorabilia, boy, do we have the place for you. ShopRSA.com has some of the best 49ers memorabilia, signed autographed helmets, cards, figures, jerseys, you name it. And best thing, if you use our promo code 49ers, 49ERS, get $20 off your first purchase over $100. Look at what they hooked us up with right here. It's an autographed Joe Montana jersey, stitched on. Look how clean this is. This is incredible. This is for sale right now over there for $179. Use our promo code, you can get it for $159. And again, here we're giving this away at the 49ers Rush Road Trip at our next location. So I want to say thank you to them. Also put the link in the description of this video. So head down there. Again, shoprsa.com. Use the promo code 49ers, 49ERS, $20 off. And get enough people sign up, they're going to give us some more stuff to give away. And that's kind of the goal there. So head over there. Got a birthday, Christmas coming up. Tell the family, look, this is what I want. Head over there. Here's the link. Appreciate the support. And, you know, just a couple more things before we jump off here. And again, we're going to be live like a lot this week. I'm going to put out a lot of content because I think it's important. And again, choose wisely what you click play on. And I'm not saying those other podcasts are bad. I listen to them too. I listen to as many as I can. I don't sleep much. But understand what you're looking for. Like if you're just trying to get on a hate parade, that's not going to do you any good. Jump into the film. Find positive things to build on. This is going to help us here. This is going to help us there. Now, and again, you know, as I think about this, like, listen to me very carefully. If Jimmy Garoppolo is healthy, this is not what I think they should do. This is what I think Kyle will do. He's so damn stubborn. If Jimmy Garoppolo is cleared, I'm telling you right now, he's going to start next week. So prepare yourself for that. I know a lot of people are just like, I'm telling you that's going to happen. Not that it should happen, but it will. There's a big difference between those things. And that's okay. Trey Lance got a lot of positive work. And I think that's awesome, and that's huge to build on. He had an opportunity to go out there and slam the door shut. I don't think that he achieved that. So I think that's one of those things that you kind of got to look for, right? Like, it's not where it is. It's where he's going, and I'm excited for that, but we're not there yet. Now, I will tell you one thing that we're going, and I'm pretty excited about this. We are going to Chicago, baby. 49ers Rush Road Trip. We're going to be there, which how cool would it be if it's Trey Lance versus Justin Fields? And not only are we just doing our Rush Road Trip, our normal stuff, we're throwing the best tailgate freaking ever. The Gatton brothers, appreciate them. All three of them are coming out and helping us. They're locals. We're going to be grilling brats. We're going to have beer. Unlimited beer, unlimited brats, tailgating at Soldier Field. We're going to be in the Adler lot right by the planetarium. And so come out there, party with us. Head to 49ersRushRoadTrip.com. And man, we had an awesome time hanging out in Philly, just meeting people. Here's a video just kind of breaking that down and where to go to get your tickets. I love it, man. Go get those tickets. We got the party Saturday night. We got the tailgate Sunday morning, and we got discount hotels for you guys. I mean, good Lord. We're planning the whole trip for you guys. Party with 49ers fan. Have a good time. We got a lot of people after the first trip bought tickets to the second and third one. So come out if you have the opportunity. You get to say you saw Trey Lance his rookie year. I think that's huge. Now, one more thing before we go, and I do want to say thank you just for all of the support. And again, if you haven't yet, head over to patreon.com. type in 49ers Rush Podcast. That's where all the film breakdowns are going to be. And trust me, there's going to be probably 3 to 4 hours of film breakdown just over the game this week. Just going through everything. The Jimmy, the Trey, the good and the bad, the defense, what's working, and all that stuff. So I do want to say thank you. Stay positive, stay faithful above all. You guys are incredible. Stay strong, faithful.